It was February 8, 2022, when Trooper Robertson attempted to pull over a 1999 Chevrolet Cavalier for a cracked windshield and a broken tail light. Instead of simply stopping, the suspect accelerated off, blasting through a stop sign before swerving dangerously onto Highway 65. And just like that, the chase was on.
What was the reason?
65, speeds 105, traffic is light.
Here's not what?
Light, so I'm going to try to wait for you to get here with me.
I'm at Tower Road.
With the suspect already having no consideration for public safety, he decided to up his game, swerving northbound into the southbound lanes. But when that wasn't enough, he turned onto Elmwood Springs Road, kicking up dust at 60 miles an hour.
Sir, it's occupied 2
I'll be on Elmwood Springs.
11505. Believe it's coming to a residence. Believe it's going to dead end.
Unfortunately, as the suspect turned down Beauty Lane Road, the trooper attempted to turn around and became stuck in the mud. He had to call in a wrecker to pull him out, but Trooper Valentine was already traveling down the dirt road when the suspect sneakily skirted past him. Taking over as primary, they quickly got back onto Highway 65, where Trooper took no time in pitting him, but the Cavalier jumped forwards, bouncing violently to the other lane.
Speeds approximately 105.
Here's that one.
Go ahead. That's important.
Close to a city or a town of any kind.
Harrison, I've hit him. He wrecked out. Rolled several times. Go ahead and give me EMS. One's ejected.
The driver was ejected on Mystic Drive and the passenger fled the scene. The driver, identified as Edward Kasner, stated the passenger was his brother Clint Kasner, but when deputies took a closer look at photographs, they put out an arrest warrant for Wesley Kasner. Officers were unable to locate the passenger, who soon got away by stealing an RV. EMS arrived on scene, and the suspect has since recovered and was charged with felony fleeing and numerous misdemeanor charges. He was sentenced to 24 months probation. It was the 10th of October 2025 when Trooper Rome spotted a brown Chevrolet Malibu without a valid license plate. When he saw it turn south onto North 58th Street from Grand Avenue, he flicked on the lights and sirens, but the driver, later identified as Jaden Tinsman, had other ideas and hit the gas.
45, Fort Smith's and 37. Coming up to, we're paralleling by Eufus. It's a Malibu, no 28, brown in color. Coming up to Waldron and Kincaid. He drove out of it, Waldron and Grand, northbound, coming up to a red light.
With the Malibu slicing through traffic like it owned the roads, it ran red lights at the intersection of Grand Avenue and Waldron Road before turning east onto Grand Avenue. Things got even more dangerous when the driver sped into oncoming traffic lanes head-on with other vehicles. With the rear bumper hanging by a thread, he merged onto the Interstate 540 northbound on-ramp.
I think the bumper's about to come off of it. Northbound on 540. TV onto a live pole, 1016, just before 540. TV onto a live pole, 1016, just before 540. Hands up right now. You f***ing move, I'm gonna shoot you. You understand me? Hands up.
The trooper positioned his patrol vehicle on the driver's side and gave verbal commands to the two occupants. Both complied and were taken into custody without further incident. The driver was identified as Jaden Tinsman. Tinsman admitted he fled because he didn't have a driver's license. After being medically cleared, he was transported to Fort Smith Baptist Hospital and then the Sebastian County Adult Detention Center, where he was charged with no driver's license, no tags, no insurance, reckless driving, and felony fleeing. What should have been a simple stop turned into a long list of new problems for this 19-year-old. It was the 6th of December 2024 when deputies with the Clay County Sheriff's Office attempted a traffic stop on a white Dodge Ram at the BP station on Parvin Road. They had been waiting near his house as the plates on the truck were registered to a Chevrolet, but as soon as he realized, he took off, sparking a high-speed pursuit.
8260. And we got one refusing us. White Dodge Ram, 6 Paul Henry 05. Talking.
Okay, pursuit 48 Brighton, and White Dodge Ram, 6 Paul Henry 05. 25.
Still eastbound 48. Yeah, we're gonna make a northbound on Oakley from 48. Back south on Brighton from Vivian. Speed's about 60. Light traffic, yielding. He doesn't know where to go. He had 2 interstates to jump on.
The driver, identified as 29-year-old Jonathan Maroney, continued to lead officers through Kansas City's Northland. With no regard for public safety, he blew through multiple stop signs, red lights, and yards to escape. Maroney was determined to give absolutely everything, even turning off his lights, but recklessly swerving around residential neighborhood corners wasn't enough to shake the troopers.
And we're gonna get on southbound 35 from Wynn. Speeds are right around 75. Exit to Antioch. This light's going to be here. There it is. 1050. He's still taking off.
After the suspect had smashed a silver SUV at an intersection, the passenger bailed out in someone's yard. That's when he started waving out the window, but the troopers having none of it and pits him against the curb. He carries on flying through residential streets, but the trooper stays hot on his tail, following his every move. But keeping his foot pressed on the gas isn't enough, and his luck's about to run out.
So we're gonna come right back out to Antioch. Out here. South. Hit that.
got one out go about 30 miles an hour. Ready for a football?
Shoot your hands right now! Hands out the window!
Maroney eventually crawled out the window under the officer's commands, and he was taken into custody without further incident. When stop sticks failed to stop him, eventually a chain-link fence at a dead end did. He was charged with aggravated fleeing, a Class D felony which was later upgraded to a Class B felony when it was learned that injuries resulted from the earlier collision. He transferred from Kansas City to Missouri, where he was sentenced to 10 years in Algoa Correctional Center. What could have been a few months in jail turned into a decade for Maroney to think about fleeing again. It was 1 p.m. on the 14th of June 2022 when Trooper McElroy received a call from dispatch about a black male trying to cash a fake check at the First Western Bank in Booneville, Arkansas. The suspect was sitting in a gas station opposite the bank in a maroon Dodge Challenger. The trooper shot off a couple signal sounds from his loudspeaker, but the suspect's got other ideas and immediately flees.
36 horsemen, 237 black males.
Maroon Challenger, 2 white males, current 1020.
Passing right line.
The driver, later identified as Devont Davis, kept pushing the Challenger to its limits, and hearing the sound of the V8 engine, other vehicles were forced to pull off the road. Davis blew through red lights at speeds exceeding 80 miles an hour, cut across double yellows, and weaved through traffic. The Dodge Challenger had just been bought from the dealership, but just because you're driving a new car doesn't mean you're exempt from the rules of the road.
Fort Smith started EMS, they hit a tree, went up, hit them, cars on fire.
The trooper waited until there was a straight, flat stretch of Highway 10 with no other traffic present to apply the pit. The Challenger became engulfed in flames immediately when it crashed into the trees at 100 miles an hour. All 3 occupants exited from the passenger side. Davis had a broken right foot and was screaming in pain before being placed in the back of the patrol car. One of the passengers was charged with attempted fraud, and Davis was booked into the Pulaski County Jail for reckless driving. In an interview, the group said they'd come to Booneville looking for women, but all they got instead was a laundry list of new problems. It was April 22, 2025, when a Clayton County deputy received a be on the lookout for a 2015 stolen Jeep Cherokee. When deputies caught up, the 17-year-old quickly learned a hard truth: that stealing your parents' car is bound to get you busted by police and by your folks. Getting busted in GTA may reset with a button, but in real life, getting a wanted level on your record doesn't look good.
Hey, go ahead and take them off the road. Hey, John, behind them.
Okay, can you readvise the location?
In the pursuit of the vehicle. Turning lane. Approaching Kendrick.
I'm clear on speed over 90, approaching Kendrick.
Give somebody notify Sheriff 1, please.
I'm clear, what's it?
Just going in and out of traffic, center lane. Continue westbound. Westbound where? We're coming up on 10 way traffic speed 7 miles per hour.
I'm clear, thank you.
You're all on Taylor, I got spikes. You're all on Taylor.
The deputies stayed tight on the Jeep, making sure he didn't have any more excuses to run. Every now and then, a pit attempt was made, but the teenager managed to avoid them and push onward. Still, with backup moving in from every angle and units ahead lying in wait, his escape routes were closing off one by one.
Hey, I'll stop by on the pig, grab some traffic.
Okay.
Approaching 138 at the time. Speed's gonna be 52 miles per hour.
I'm down 138.
Stand by on the pig. Stand by on the pig. Got too much traffic.
The teen raced forwards, only to meet a deputy waiting with stop sticks. Tires shredded in seconds, and a quick lesson that 4x4s don't come with bulletproof wheels.
And let's drop you a good hit on the spike. Good hit on the spike. He's going to be going eastbound on 138. Eastbound on 138. The gas station, 138 and Kendrick.
I'm down 138 in Kendrick.
Hey, y'all.
I'm down 50.
Okay.
17-year-old Tyler Simpson was taken into custody, facing charges of theft by taking a motor vehicle, felony fleeing, reckless driving, failure to maintain lane, and driving without a valid license. He'd later admitted he was already on probation for a felony fleeing case at just 15 years old. Now, with another case pending in court, this teenager is learning that driving a 4x4 doesn't give you a free pass to break the law. It was the 25th of August, 2025, when Turner County deputies in Georgia attempted to pull over a Toyota Corolla, but when officers flicked on the lights and sirens, he immediately fled, swerving all over the road and flicking up rain, driving on the shoulder. The suspect did a 180, crossed a bridge, and came back on the interstate in an attempt to lose the trooper. Eventually, he caught up, and for a moment it looked like he'd stopped. But as soon as the trooper got out, he hit the gas, taking exit 75 and leading the trooper onto the interstate again.
10 to 14, I'll get you going.
Northbound.
Signal. 75, get back northbound.
25. Be requesting help from signal and then utilize speed.
Gonna do that. She's going to need 70, excuse me, 77.
Take one.
He's doing the emergency here, Canada. Northbound 78, northbound on East Bridge.
Take one.
Working on the 80.
Take one. Give us one.
It didn't take long for backup to quickly move in, but the suspect still dodged between cars, using the shoulder as an extra lane and leading police down off ramps, then immediately back onto the interstate. He treated traffic laws like a minor inconvenience, as close calls with lorries and kicking up billows of rain were only part of the game.
Yeah, he split stop sign at 82.
What you to leave, sir?
keeps going after the pit. Officers attempt to box him in, but he managed to swerve out multiple times. Even with 3 troopers and the sheriff in an SUV, he kept up the pace, diving between lanes in a desperate attempt to escape that only added fuel to the fire. As the driver took one last puff of his spliff, all units immediately moved in, shattering the window and issuing commands. The driver, identified as 28-year-old Javon Laquan Davis of Columbus, Ohio, refused commands and was forcibly dragged out the Corolla. With his kids taken out the car, Davis was placed in the back of the patrol car, where he quickly began wriggling. He was booked into a Georgia state prison, where he faced charges of a felony, fleeing, aggravated assault, 2 counts of child cruelty, reckless driving, speeding, driving on a suspended license, and DUI. Deputies later learned Davis also had an outstanding warrant for aggravated armed robbery in Ohio. He was sentenced in Turner County to 8 years. When he's released, he'll be extradited to Ohio, where he'll serve between 6 and 14 years. What should have been a simple stop turned into another 8 years for Davis. It was July 25, 2025, when Trooper Nicholas Ade was conducting stationary radar enforcement on Highway 64 at the White River Bridge in Arkansas. His radar unit confirmed her speed was 73 miles per hour in a 55 zone. The driver, later identified as 26-year-old Shakaya Holmes, initially pulled up on the shoulder but then changed her mind and sped off. With no intent of stopping, it was up to the trooper to stop her, as she clearly didn't think traffic laws applied to her.
Trying to get one stopped. 64 inbound to Augusta from White County. Adam King Frank, 50 William. Adam King Frank, 50 William. 36 County. I'm in pursuit 64 through Augusta right now. Black Hyundai, Adam King Frank, 50 William. 1037.
10-4, that's right.
Speed's 90, 64, coming up the Highway 33 in Augusta, light traffic.
Coming up the Highway 33 in Augusta, light traffic.
As they entered the city limits of Augusta, it was clear cutting across double yellows on Highway 33 wasn't going to stop the trooper following her, so she switched gears, turning into neighborhood streets. When she slowed to turn left onto 11th Street, the trooper pitted her rear quarter panel, so she continued on 12th Street.
Dispatch, they just rammed into me.
Just rammed into you, 409.
Turned on 12th Street.
Turned on 12th Street.
103 County, we have direction of travel.
The suspect continued onto 12th Street, then looped back to 11th Street. As she attempted to turn into the driveway of 1006 11th Street, she made the same mistake of slowing down before a turn, and he bumped the Hyundai into the carport to stop her fleeing.
Stand by,
Keep your hands out the window. Is there anybody else in the vehicle? You can crawl out.
Shakia Holmes complied without resistance and was taken into a county patrol unit and transported to the Woodruff County Detention Center. The car was taken into wrecker service possession. When asked why she ran, she replied she didn't feel safe. She had a valid license, no issues with the vehicle, and no contraband. This could have been 10 minutes and a speeding ticket. Instead, it's a visit to jail, a damaged vehicle with a wrecker recovery charge, and a criminal history, all for nothing. It was Saturday, October 12th, 2024, when Bainbridge police officers were chasing a Mercedes CLA 250 for expired tags, reckless driving, and swerving all over the road. When it made several aggressive turns and almost crashed into an officer's vehicle, Trooper Evans was called in, and he took no time in getting to the intersection of West Street and Georgia State Route 309. A Chevy Silverado pickup attempted to turn onto the state route, but the Mercedes suddenly appeared and, without slowing down, nearly smashed into it head-on. The suspect cheated death once, but just a few minutes later, he wouldn't be so lucky. With speeds now exceeding 120 miles an hour and the Mercedes passing cars in curves and driving on the wrong side of the roadway, other vehicles that were passed didn't have a chance to make any reaction if needed. Trooper Evans knew he was going to kill someone if not quickly stopped. He also knew State Route 309 is a narrow and curvy road with a lot of blind driveways and traffic. Around milepost 1, he made a split-second decision to perform a pit in the only straight portion of the route.
Pit. Milepost 1, copy. Milepost 1, roll over, go ahead and send EMS.
When they opened the driver's side and back door, officers were surprised to learn that the driver had been ejected. Bainbridge officers searched the area and found the suspect lying in the ditch face down next to a drain culvert. Trooper Evans performed chest compressions and could feel a heartbeat, but by the time EMS arrived, he was pronounced deceased. A quick search of the vehicle turned up 2 pounds of marijuana in a black trash bag laying in the right front floorboard. $5,010 was also found in the driver's pocket. What should have been a simple traffic stop for a couple misdemeanors turned out fatal in less than 10 minutes. The moral of the story: wear a seatbelt.